welcome. This is ATN Global News at 9. First, the headlines. Ex-President Jonathan wants Fubara Wike reconciliation. Court denies Nnamdi Kanu bail in DSS custody. Ajaero denies NLC merger talks ahead of 2027 elections. CBN withdraws circular on cybersecurity levy. South Africa's top court stops Jacob Zuma from ballot. Golden Eaglets captain wins second award. DJ Cup his mom prays for true love. And now,
get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Room Calagbo off Waterlines, Basta, Port Harcourt.
On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m., inter-school march past competition,
Dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown, Bouncing Castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689
and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Mall Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water.
Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap am.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. Why we don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. Now to our stories. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has called on the River State Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to work together for the good of the people of the state. The former president, who expressed concern over the challenges associated with transition of power in the country, spoke as the special guest of honor at an event organized by the River State government to inaugurate the construction of the Trans-Kalabari Road project. The former president, who disclosed this during the transition of power from one president to another at the national level, said it has also become a challenge transiting power from one governor to another, and advised both the incumbent and immediate past governor to collaborate for the welfare of the people of the state. In addressing the situation in River State, Jonathan emphasized the necessity for cooperation between the Federal Capital Territory, Minister Nyesom Wike, and Governor Sim Fubara, underscoring the detrimental effects of tension in a region as crucial as the heart of the Niger Delta. Speaking about the inauguration of the Trans-Kalabari Road, Jonathan said the construction will enhance the economic development of River State, while the road construction would aid security forces in maintaining order and safety within the state, as well as decrease accidents on waterways. Analyst says that no political party have the legal right to declare members inactive except a court of competent jurisdiction. Speaking on Atlantic Open Conversation, a political analyst, Churchill Wally, said it is only a court of legal competence that has the capacity to declare members inactive in a given political party.
The party has a right to make any comments, any speech they want to make. But the people, the jurisdiction that has the final say in this particular matter is the court. It's only the court that can declare that there are no more legitimate members of the House of Assembly, not the party PRO.
Churchill Wally also spoke on the need for dialogue and understanding between Governor Fubara and the FCT minister.
They should approach the stakeholders, the correct, accurate, the good stakeholders of the country. The people that will not dance here, neither dance here. The people that will not believe in the crisis to eat, that is arena crisis. The people that will always believe in the mindset of bringing peace. And table this issue like clean persons. And look at the merit of and the demerit of the crisis, because the demerit of the crisis is higher, despite the persons that has been attached themselves to the governor, believing that he is the person. You know, when you drop B here now or drop sugar here now, ant must gather. You understand? If you drop honey here now, ant must gather. So he is the man.
This is coming after the People's Democratic Party had dismissed claims that it was under pressure to compromise its position on the status of former members of the River State Assembly who forfeited their seats on account of the decision to dump the party. Police in Delta State has gunned down leader of a kidnap syndicate, Joel Joseph, after a gun battle with the police special squad in Nene community, Ughelli North local government area. The police also recovered from the deceased suspect one AK-47 rifle loaded with 10 rounds of live ammunition, while the suspect died at the General Hospital, Ughelli, where he was taken for treatment after the encounter. Delta State Police Public Relations Officer SP Bright Edafe confirmed the report in a statement that the suspect, who is a native of Ekakpamre community in Ughelli North local government area, opened fire on the police operatives upon sighting them. Operatives of the Buffalo Squad of the Delta State Police Command have arrested 6 men suspected to be cultists, and a locally cut-sized gun and 2 cartridges were recovered upon search of the suspects and the vehicles. In a post by the command spokesperson, Bright Edafe, via his X handle, when people see police stopping random vehicles for a search, passers-by would say police are harassing innocent youth. He also said investigation has shown that they are suspected members of Black Axe confraternity. 5 months after the Edo State House of Assembly reduced the 2024 budgetary allocation to the office of the State Deputy Governor to 354.5 million from the initial 1.3 billion naira, the House has received a letter from the state government to revise the budget. This is coming after the House received the letter from Governor Godwin Obaseki for the revision of the budget at plenary. The revision of the budget was geared towards shoring up the budgetary allocation to the office of the Deputy Governor, which is now being occupied by Marvelous Godwin's Omobayo, the new Deputy Governor of Edo State. Omobayo, the new Deputy Governor of the state. National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, has called on the Imo State government to immediately construct a standard flyover or modernized roundabout at the Imsu Junction in order to stop fatal accidents in the area. Anyanwu, who was the PDP governorship candidate in the 2023 elections, made the call in a statement, also commiserated with the families of those that died in the tragedy, praying God to grant those they left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. This is coming after about 6 people died in an accident at the Imsu Junction when a trailer crashed into 4 buses. While praying for the souls of the departed, Anyanwu equally called on the state government to do everything possible to extend hands of goodwill to the bereaved families by ensuring that children and wives of those who died in the incident are given adequate medical treatment and support. Aggrieved women in the oil-producing area of Ohaji and Egbema local government area of Imo State stormed the streets of Mahu community today to protest alleged police brutality against the people. The women, numbering over 500, were seen with placards bearing various inscriptions appealing to the state and federal governments, as well as the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to come to their rescue, alleging that there had been consistent police brutality in their communities, leading to their sons fleeing following alleged killings of victims of the brutality. The spokesperson of the protesters, Anwulika Omogo, said the police team brutalizing the communities was led by one Inspector Chika Okiabata, popularly known as Killenberry. Omogo, a woman leader in the area who claimed that Okiabata was a member of the disbanded SAS operators, further alleged that he had recruited unknown state actors as a militia group around the Egbema axis, and alleged that the militia mainly attack skills and arrest innocent and law-abiding residents of the area, labeling them with criminal charges. The police spokesman, ASP Henry Okoye, promised to react to the matter after contacting the area commander of Ohaji and Egbema local government. Member representing Ogbaru Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Afam Ogene, has advised the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, to accept the calls for local government elections in the state. Ogene, who is the Labour Party's House of Reps caucus leader, said rather than conduct LG elections, Soludo had gone ahead to appoint the Transitional Committee chairman for all the 21 local government areas in the state, saying it was unfair for the development and dreams of the people. The lawmaker, who disclosed these in a statement in response to the comments, said such undemocratic practice of appointing LDA administrators rather than democratic election is an enabler of impunity and lack of democratic accountability, and also hurts transparency in the local government and the state as a whole, as those so appointed would only scramble for personal interests during the 3 months of their stay in office. Meanwhile, Soludo has directed APCA members and stakeholders to nominate 3 candidates, including a female nominee, from which he would choose the next transition committee chairman for the statutory tenure of 3 months with effect from today. Police in Ebonyi State has confirmed the killings of 2 persons, while 7 others were abducted in an attack on Ikachi village in Akbarata area of Efum in Ohaguku local government area of Ebonyi State. The spokesperson for Ebonyi Police Command, DSP Joshua Ukandu, who confirmed the incident, said the assailants also destroyed property worth millions of naira in the area and urged security agencies to restore peace into the area and to also ascertain the cause of the latest flare-up of communal clashes in the area. The police also confirmed that Eza and Effium communities have been enmeshed in deadly clashes since 2021. The police spokesman said that by the current development, officers and men of the command are committed to the protection of lives and property in Ebonyi State. Building Collapse Prevention Guild has called on the Lagos State government to investigate compromised officials involved in the recent demolition of the Arubojugwe part of Mende Villa in Lagos State. The Guild disclosed this in a statement signed by the coordinator, Soji Adeniji, adding that to complement the essence of the belated demolition, the government should cast its searchlight on its staff and past political office holders and dispense immediate justice on those of them who compromised results in the current belated wanton destruction of property along System 1 channel at Mende, Lagos. The Guild urged the government to provide adequate notice, making sure direct occupants rather than landlords were informed in order to lessen the suffering of the innocent occupants of buildings designated for demolition. It also said the ongoing demolition of buildings that obstructed the water course was a necessity that should bring relief to residents during the approaching rainy season, and described the demolition exercise embarked upon by the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources as inevitable to save lives and property. 9 alumni of the Faculty of Law of the Lagos State University, Ojo, have been appointed judges of the Lagos High Court. The 9 were part of the 13 judges recently appointed to the Lagos State High Court. The institution disclosed this in a post on its X handle and said the number is the highest ever recorded at a given time by the institution. While congratulating the new judges, the Vice Chancellor, Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello, said appointment into such an exalted position was not a mean sacrifice and dedication to the law profession, as well as their impactful contributions to the Lagos State Judiciary. Olatunji Bello attributed the feat of the judges to, amongst other things, the solid foundation of excellence at the Faculty of Law of the university upon which they build their respective careers, while urging them to be above board and serve with the fear of God in their new positions. Muslim Ummah of southwest Nigeria has advised the federal government to address the various security challenges facing the country immediately. Muslim President Rosaki Oladejo, who disclosed this during the maiden public lecture organized by Muslim Health Committee in Ibadan, Oyo State, with the theme National Insecurity and its Psychological Effect on the Citizens, the Islamic and Health Perspectives, called on the federal government to urgently address the root causes of insecurity in Nigeria, adding that the country is facing a lot of security challenges, including kidnapping, armed robberies, banditry, and other violent crimes. Oladejo also said Nigeria is fraught with challenges where the very fabric of society is tested by numerous threats which have resulted in widespread displacements, food insecurity, and violence, and further worsened the economic disparities amongst the populace. Allah called on Nigerians to trust one another, saying there was a trust deficit among Nigerians against the leaders. The All Progressives Congress in Ogun State has faulted former Governor Senator Gbenga Daniel's claim that his administration initiated the Gateway Agri-Cargo Airport. Daniel, who is currently the senator representing Ogun East Senatorial District at the National Assembly, claimed he initiated some important projects between 2003 and 2011, which were underreported. due to what he termed bad press. The former governor also listed some of these projects to include the Gateway Agro-Cargo Airport, which incumbent Governor Dakpo Abiodun undertook about 3 years ago and has nearly completed, with the longest runway and largest apron in Nigeria and West Africa corridor. Reacting to Daniel's statement, in a statement by its publicity secretary Tunde Oladunjoye, the Ogun APC said the statement credited to Daniel was nothing but a product of hallucination by a serial failure, and insisted that the former governor did nothing to suggest the seriousness of his administration to build any airport in the state, adding that he merely announced the proposed airport and the intended location as a political statement. The party spokesman also alleged that the interview granted by Senator Daniel was an acceptance of failure. Oba-elect of Araromi Ekiti in Ijero local government area of the state, Babalola Adebomi, has been arraigned at a federal high court sitting in Akure in the state capital for certificate forgery. According to the charge sheet, Babalola was arraigned on two-count charge bordering forgery, 14 a certificate of University of Ibadan, and presented same to University Teaching Hospital Ado Ekiti for job in 2008, and also 14 his discharge certificate of National Youth Service Corps, and presented same to the University Teaching Hospital for job. However, Babalola pleaded not guilty to the charges, while his attorney, Atta Paul, said he had filed an application on notice and prayed the court to give the application hearing. The prosecution attorney, Itunu Shobu, told the court that he was yet to read the issues raised by the defendant attorney in his reply to the counter affidavit he filed, and he would be presenting two witnesses before the court to prove the charges. The defendant's attorney therefore prayed the court to release the Oba-elect on bail, promising that he would not jump bail. Community policing group Kogi East Neighborhood Watch has decried the spate of insecurity and kidnapping in Kogi State Eastern Senatorial District. The group, in a statement by its director, Public Communication Wing Commander Iye Ayefu, accused the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Joel Salifu Oyibo, of watching helplessly while his local government area, Ofu, is taken over by kidnappers. The State Security Advisor, Commander Omadara, retired, and the administrator of the Local Government Council are fully informed of the incident and yet do not seem to have any solution to the kidnapping problem, while the State Police Command is yet to make any statement. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command says it engaged unknown gunmen suspected to be kidnappers in a gun battle in the Buari Area Council and freed hostages. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, who confirmed the incident in a statement, said the police swung into action following the distress call about the attack, and operatives of the command led by the Commissioner of Police, CP Benneth C. Igwe, swiftly mobilized to the scene. She said the police, in synergy with local hunters, advanced on the assailant, tactically ambushing them at Ushafa Hill via Buari and Shiship Hills via Mpape. Justice Nyang Adam Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the request by terrorist negotiator Mohammed Tukur Mamu for his transfer from the custody of the Department of the State Service to Kuje Prison in Abuja. Mamu is standing trial for terrorism offenses slammed on him by the federal government and had been in DSS custody following the refusal of the court to admit him to bail, while Justice Eko in his ruling said the federal government had raised the issue of incessant jailbreaks in prisons as a major ground to oppose the request for transfer to Kuje. He held that Mamu did not contradict or dispute the averments as required by law, and since the averments were not challenged by Mamu, they are deemed to be true facts, and fact admitted need no further proof. He subsequently ordered him to remain in DSS custody throughout his trial in the criminal charges against him. Justice Eko, however, affirmed his earlier order that the terrorist negotiator be allowed to access his personal physician for medical treatment with the supervision of the DSS, while the DSS on March 21, 2023 arraigned him on 10 counts of terrorism financing, among others, but he pleaded not guilty to the charges. Officers of the Nigerian Army have shut down Banix Plaza, a shopping complex located in the Wustu area of Abuja, following attacks on some soldiers. Eyewitness said the traders are still in talks with the army, while the FCT Police Command had deployed officers of the intelligence response team to the area after a conflict ensued between traders and some soldiers, while a viral video on X showed a multitude of civilians overpowering some soldiers during a free-for-all fight at Banix. The FCT Police Command, in a statement by its spokesperson, Josephine Ade, said the police had restored peace in the affected area after a buyer had gone with 4 soldiers to demand a refund after the purchased phone developed faults, which the shop owner resisted, and the action resulted in a confrontation and squabble with the military personnel. This development led some irate mobs to attack the military personnel, which led to an uproar in the environment. Meanwhile, personnel in the Nigerian Army, in a reprisal, stormed the plaza, and some of the traders and customers camped for safety. Ahead of the formal opening of the Student Loan Portal this Friday, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund says it will commence with students in federal tertiary institutions. It said all the students whose institutions have uploaded their data on its dashboard would be eligible to apply. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the fund, Akintinde Soya, who disclosed this at a pre-application sensitization press conference in Abuja, said 1.2 million students from federal government-owned universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and technical colleagues would benefit from the first phase of the scheme. They said the requirements to apply include the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board admission letter, national identity number, bank verification number, and a completed application form from its website, and the portal provides a user-friendly interface for students to submit their loan applications conveniently. He encouraged students in federal tertiary institutions to take advantage of this opportunity to secure the required financial assistance for their education, even as he urged applicants to submit their applications as soon as possible to ensure timely processing. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the Abuja Railway from the central area to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja is ready for commercial use in fulfillment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The minister, who disclosed this in a second visit to the Serious station of the railway, said the stations are built with good facilities and access roads.
We are ready, and you can see the facilities, just that we've been able to identify 1 or 2 things that are omitted during the design. But we believe that during the full operation, some of those things will be taken into consideration. Particularly, I believe that as a standard metro line, where the passengers will be waiting before they board the trains, they should be air conditioned. And then I also thought that some of the stations would have had an escalator or elevator, to probably those who are very old and those who may not have the strength to walk or to climb the staircases. So apart from that, I think we're happy with the work that has been done, and we believe Nigerians will be happy, particularly the residents of the FCT. Like you said, like we always say, without the access roads to the various stations, then there are no need for the metro line. Because how would people from the various communities access the stations when there are no access roads? But thank God, we have seen the access roads, so you can just take your car, park in each of the stations you want, and then board the train, go to wherever you want to go, and come back and still take your vehicle and go back to wherever you live. So we're happy, very, very happy. I would thank God the promise Mr. President made has been kept.
Wiki also said the cost of renovating and building of the railway stations was 5 billion naira.
So the same contract sum that did a dollar component and the naira components. I don't know where you got the sum of 5 billion naira. Two, I never said the operational cost was not. I said before we came that the federal government approved, the then former administration approved $128 million for the training of our people, for CC to train them for 29 months. And that we said no, that's very exorbitant. And we renegotiated with CCECC. And now it has been brought down to $75 million for the training of our people for 29 months. We have saved for the government not less than 53 million US dollars. I do know for the rehabilitation of this, as was awarded, it was not less than 15 million US dollars, and the Naira component, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the document here with me, so that when I quote it, they quote me rightly. If I'm not mistaken, it was not less than 10 billion Naira. All those have been paid. What we are doing now is additional works that were now added. So maybe if you are talking about additional works, is what you mean by 5 billion naira. Maybe you may be right, but not that the rehabilitation cost, as per when we came, was 5 billion. No. So just get that fact clear.
Seven persons were injured when a one-story warehouse collapsed in the Kasawang-Gwari area of Mina in Niger State. The incident took place when a trailer was offloading soft drinks into the building. Eyewitnesses said the warehouse, owned by a trader who supplies bulk soft drinks to supermarkets in Mina, collapsed and injured several people who were workers engaged in offloading the drinks and are currently receiving treatment at a government hospital in Mina. Architect Bako Mohammed, the general manager of the Niger State Urban Development Board, said it is a case of an illegal conversion of a structure to a warehouse, while Hussaini Ibrahim, the spokesman for the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, confirmed the evacuation of 7 injured individuals. He also said the true casualty figure would be determined once the debris was fully cleared by the Urban Development Board. Edson and Chairman Council of Traditional Rulers, Niger State, Yahaya Abubakar, are calling on all the traditional rulers and relevant stakeholders to support the Adolescent Girls Initiative for learning and empowerment for the development of the girl child in the state. The royal father, who disclosed this during a visit by the First Lady of Niger State, Hajia Fatima Mohammed Bago, on advocacy at his palace in Bida local government area of the state, said achieving the core objectives of Agile will be realized if all relevant stakeholders support the project targeted at empowering adolescent girls through education to enable them to contribute their quota to the growth and development of the state. The First Lady of the state, Hajia Fatima Muhammad Bago, in her address disclosed the readiness of the state government to support any initiative that will empower the girl child to increase enrollment and reduce dropout in schools. Also, the State Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education and Chairman of the State Steering Committee on Agil, Hajia Adiza Sabi Mohammed, who gave the royal father the brief on the core objectives of the project, called for the state government's commitment to promoting girl child education and all-inclusive education in the state. On his part, the state coordinator Gail Hajiya Maimuna Ibrahim Tahir, represented by the deputy coordinator Malam Salih Sudanjuma, said the project will provide uniforms and transport allowances to the parents as a morale booster under the conditional cash transfer, apart from construction and renovations of more than 534 schools in the state. Section of the Zamfara State Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress is calling on the National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, to intervene in the crisis rocking the state chapter, which he described as worrisome. This is coming in view of the recent crisis in the state chapter of the party that led to the purported suspension of the chairman, Alhaji Tukur Danfulani, by the Galadima Ward APC executive in Gusau local government area of the state. The Assistant State Secretary of the party, Mansour Khalifa, who addressed newsmen in Gusau after the stakeholders meeting, described the current situation of the party in the state as worrisome and appealed to the national chairman of the party, Alhaji Abdullahi Ganduje, to intervene in the matter to save the Zamfara APC chapter. President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, says the Congress is not aware of merger talks involving the Labour Party with some political parties in the country, adding that the Labour Party, which is a social-democratic political party, was founded by the organised Labour. The NLC boss, Joe Ajaero, said he is not aware of speculations about the possibility of a merger between the Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party following the meeting between the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the presidential candidate of the PDP in the election, Atiku Abubakar. This is coming after the meeting with Obi, when Atiku said party members would decide their fate in the 2027 general elections, adding that if the PDP decided in 2027 that it was the turn of the Southeast to field the presidential candidate and selected Obi, he would readily offer his support. The former vice president mentioned that his recent meeting with Obi might indicate a possible alliance leading up to the 2027 general elections. New Nigeria's People Party has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of undue interference and taking sides in its internal leadership crisis. The party also advised INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu to look into the alleged attendance of its splinter group convention by the staff of the commission, even when they were served with a court notice challenging it. Crisis rocked the party shortly after the 2023 general elections as the party's board of trustees, led by Boniface Anie Bonam, expelled its presidential candidate and former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, over alleged anti-party activities. The suspension followed Kwankwaso's visit to President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa after he was sworn in, with the former governor rumored to be eyeing a ministerial slot. Following the suspension, a faction loyal to Kwankwaso with the Kwankwasia movement also expelled the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Major Gilbert Agbo. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the request by the detained leader of the Biafran Nation agitators, Nnamdi Kanu, for the restoration of his revoked bail and the removal from the custody of the Department of State Services to a house arrest or prison custody. The judge said the same request had been brought before her by Kanu but was dismissed for want of merit. In a ruling on Kanu's request, Justice Nyako said she found as a fact that Kanu jumped the bail earlier granted him and escaped out of the country, adding that the sureties who stood for him in the earlier bail had applied to be discharged and had been discharged on the grounds that they could not locate Kanu and did not know his whereabouts. Justice Nyako said that the only option left for Kanu was to go to the Court of Appeal and exercise his right of appeal. The judge disregarded with Kanu's lead counsel that the Supreme Court held that the earlier bail granted him ought not to have been revoked, other that she had perused the Supreme Court judgment's copy and did not see the claim of the lawyer who is claiming that any attempt to put Kanu on trial would amount to a breach of Nigeria's constitution and the international laws. Fidelity Bank Compliance Officer Ezekwoli Oziemenam has testified against a social media celebrity, Ismaila Mustafa, aka Mamva, who is facing trial over money laundering charges involving the sum of 6 billion naira. Oziemenam, the fourth prosecution witness, was led in evidence by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission counsel Suleiman. The witness testified about the package of an account of the bank allegedly linked to Mamva. Defense counsel Mr. Kolawale Salami told the court that he reserved his objection to the tendering of the document in evidence, while counsel to EFCC appealed to the court for a witness summons to compel appearance of EFCC's next witness. The counsel said he needed the summons because the witness complained of feeling unsafe and receiving threats to his life, while Justice Mojisho Ladada said that it was the duty of prosecution to ensure appearance of its witnesses in court. The judge adjourned the case till July 1 for continuation of trial. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says improved salaries and allowances for judges and other judicial officers was a step towards judicial independence in the country. Fagbemi, who disclosed this in Abuja in his address at a public hearing on a bill for an act to prescribe the salaries and allowances and fringe benefits of judicial office holders in Nigeria and Related Matters Bill 2024, organized by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, said the upward view of judges and other judicial officers' salaries has become imperative given the inflationary trends being experienced in the country in the past few years. He said the bill will birth an appropriate and commensurate remuneration that will ensure judicial independence and integrity. This is coming after, in July 2023, the National Judicial Council forwarded a proposed review of consolidated salaries and allowances for judicial officers for consideration by the President, while the National Judicial Council proposal was the revision of the remuneration package earlier proposed by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, which was not consummated before the end of the previous administration. Analysts have tasked the federal government on a sustainable dialogue and agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities in order not to obstruct the free execution of academic activities in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Blowout, a socio-political analyst, Victor Inyiche, spoke on the need for the federal government to dialogue with ASU in order to avoid actions whatsoever that may hinder the academic business on a standstill.
Government needs to, pay attention to some of these issues. I mean, I think I saw that list when it came out, and interesting. A lot of interesting names making different, institutions. Why I might not be in the best position to critique the list or the members or the number of people in the list, I still believe that, government and ASU should carefully and patiently sit down to have conversations, so we don't have all the dragbacks and slow process we've had over the years because of the argument between ASU and government. Governing councils are a very important aspect of the institutions, and I don't think.
Victor Ngiche also tasked the government on the need to embrace global best practices in its academics across the country.
With the evolution of things and knowledge and all of that, we should evolve and change, and we have not done that. And the truth is, government.
This is coming after the Academic Staff Union of Universities had recently issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to address key concerns, including what it described as the illegal dissolution of governing councils of the universities, as well as continued payment of its members' salaries using the integrated payroll and personnel information system, among other issues. Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics has rejected the newly reconstituted governing councils of federal government-owned polytechnics. A statement signed by ASUP's president, Shama Banja, the union expressed dismay at the new list of appointees, whom it tagged as individuals with no knowledge of the polytechnic system, adding that having carefully studied the released list of new members, the union expressed dissatisfaction and disappointment with the composition for the polytechnics. ASUP demanded that the list for the polytechnics be reviewed before the inauguration to include a class of persons with requisite knowledge of the workings of polytechnics. This is coming 11 months after the administration of President Bola Tinubu dissolved the governing councils of FG-owned universities, polytechnics, and challenges of education, while it unveiled a list of newly appointed members of councils, which was unveiled on Saturday and signed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, D.D. Watson Jack. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after the short break. Stay with us.
Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalabo off Waterlines, Basta, Port Harcourt.
On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m., inter-school march past competition,
dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers, and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown, Bouncing Castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689
and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Mall Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water.
Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Ah, okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make you come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make you come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want young people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use them, you know they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make I no buy them. Make I show you something. What? What in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make I ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop.
Now water, no be chemical.
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, you drink am now. I dey sell am plantain. I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. House of Representatives has blamed the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission on its inability to protect the right of Nigerians against the rising hike in price of cement. The House, through a joint committee of Solid Minerals, Industry, Commerce and Special Duties, expressed their displeasure in Abuja when the agency appeared before it during an investigative hearing on the arbitrary increase in the price of cement by manufacturers of cement in Nigeria. Honorable Jonathan Gaza said the increase in price of cement has a direct bearing with the increase in building collapses experienced in most parts of the country.
FCCP can be likened, I don't mean to sound hard, but to a mother that has forgotten her children. It's because if anybody, at about the time that we're having hike in cement prices, what FCCP came out on the news for was closing Saad for different prices of plantain. I couldn't reconcile the two. Yes, I appreciate you're doing your job, but there are things, you heard it from the president of Korea. Cost of cement, building materials is a direct relationship with building collapse. Cost of cement is in direct relationship to increase in tenancy rates. For heaven's sake, anything that has to do with livelihood should be treated as an emergency.
Earlier, the Director of Surveillance and Investigations, Boladale Adeyinka, and the Chairman of Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Sadiq Abubakar, said increase in price of cement is not as a result of dollar increase but on epileptic power supply, high cost of diesel and operational costs.
Major raw materials are locally, annexed and sourced for. So the fluctuation in dollar was not an issue. And that was why we were very curious to discover that the price seemed to have been jumping with the market prices, with the rising cost of dollar. That was put aside. We were able to say, no, that's not the cost. And the inquiry went further to start looking at the pricing methodology and the cost structure of cement products in the marketplace. And it was gratifying to even see that the direction of this committee is also towards that, based on your directives to Koren that we were witnessing this morning.
Lowering the standards of our infrastructure. All agree with us that that is one of the key culprits of building collapse. So I am trying to connect the hike of price in cement with the standardization of our building and with the direct connection of building collapse. Clearly there's a direct connection with that. And I think this is something we must interrogate. There are many challenges along the value chain of cement and of course of building materials. But I believe that these following items, 4 of them, are the quagmire of the cement manufacturers. And I want us to also take cognizance of them. The epileptic and no electric power supply amidst the high cost of diesel and the high operational costs are one key issue that the cement manufacturers are facing. And unless and until they have a solution to this, then this subject we are discussing may be a mirage.
Also speaking, the head of Building Research Nigeria Building and Road Research Institute, Jibril Sule, said the institute has introduced postulant as an alternative to cement as a step to manage the high cost of the product. The Deputy Controller, Tariff and Trade, Mrs. C.K. Niagwan of the Nigeria Customs Service, informed the committee that Nigeria Customs Service has no records of limestone exportation.
One, Nigerian Building and Road Research have gone to an extent that we produce what we call pozzolana. This pozzolana is what actually the neighbor produce. We produce it using clay. And this percentage, we use clay and palm kernel to produce a pozzolana. This pozzolana will help you, instead of using the cement 100%, it gives you a room where at least a certain percentage of the cement, because the pozzolana we're talking about, we cannot use it ordinarily as a cement, but a certain percentage of that pozzolana with cement will give you actually what you want. And anything you are going to do as a structural engineer, it depends on actually what you want to do. Then we'll give you a percentage that, okay, well, if you are using a percentage of pozzolana, this is what you are going to use. It's a kind of a substitute to cement.
You do not have any export quantities at all?
We don't have records of exportation of limestone. We don't.
Okay. Fantastic. So everything produced is consumed in-house?
Yes. The cement manufacturers of Nigeria have to import to augment what they source locally. What we even have locally is not enough. So they have to even import more to augment what they have, what they can source locally.
The question is, do you have geologists, professional geologists in your employ?
We have geologists. They might not be working as geologists in the Customs Service because we have what we call general duty officers and professionals. But we have officers that are, we call them, we have a customs lab where they check chemicals and all that. And at these export processing terminals, we have other agencies like NAFDAC who have the technical know-how to know these raw materials. We have SON, we have NDLEA, and the rest of them. So these agencies, in conjunction with Nigeria Customs Service officers, conduct examinations at these export terminals before these containers are exported.
House of Representatives Committee on Finance has threatened to direct the Accountant General of the Federation to block the accounts of federal government agencies that fail to render accurate accounts of the revenue profile to the government. This is coming after the Director of Finance and Accounts with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, Musa Jemaku, faulted the claim by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation that they have not paid their operating surplus for 3 years, from 2019 to 2021. Jemaku's anger stemmed from a claim by a representative of the Office of the Accountant General, whose name could not be ascertained, that the FRC had not remitted its operating surplus to the Federation's coffers, speaking at the resumed revenue monitoring exercise of the committee on Monday. The Vice Chairman of the committee and member representing Bida Makokacha Federal Constituency, Saidu Abdullahi, frowned at the deliberate failure by some agencies to appear before the committee, despite the invitation extended to them, adding that out of 8 agencies invited to appear before the committee on Monday, only 2 of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria and the National Health Insurance Authority showed up. The lawmaker said while 2 others applied to be given another date, the Lagos International Trade Fair Complex, National Broadcasting Commission, National Examination Council and National Inland Waterways Authority failed to either honor the invitation or communicate with the committee to give reasons for their absence. 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has advised the federal government to stop what he called financial indiscipline and prioritize human and national development. Obi, who wrote on X on Monday, expressed his concerns, particularly in the realm of education, and further questioned the budgetary priorities. Obi called for financial discipline and the federal government to prioritize the allocation of resources to critical areas, adding that in December 2023, the House of Representatives approved a total of 28.78 trillion naira in expenditure for the 2024 fiscal year. This was 1.2 trillion naira more than the 27.5 trillion budgetary proposal presented to the joint session of the Senate and House of Representatives by President Bola Tinubu on November 30, 2023. A breakdown of the approved sum showed that a total of 1.74 trillion naira is for statutory transfers, while 8.27 billion for debt service, as well as 8.78 trillion naira for recurrent non-debt expenditure, and 10 trillion is for capital expenditure for the year ending December 31, 2024. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. South Africa's top court says graft-tainted former president turned firebrand opposition challenger Jacob Zuma is not eligible to stand for parliament in next week's general election. The decision will outrage Zuma's supporters and stoke fears of violent unrest in the run-up to the May 29 poll, and it is the most competitive since the advent of post-apartheid democracy in 1994. The top court threw out Zuma's complaint against the Electoral Commission decision that a previous conviction for contempt prevents him from becoming an MP on ruling that the Constitution bars anyone sentenced to more than 12 months in jail. This is coming after Zuma, who left office in 2018 dogged by corruption allegations, was convicted of contempt of court during a case in 2021 and sentenced to 15 months. He eventually served less than 3 months in jail. The former president drew a huge 30,000-strong crowd to a stadium in Soweto, just outside Johannesburg, last Saturday, but spoke only in Zulu on his core support base. President Bola Tinubu has reached to the death of his Iranian counterpart, Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash on Sunday. This is coming after a helicopter carrying President Raisi and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian was involved in a hard landing while visiting a northern region. Reacting, Tinubu, in a statement issued by his spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale, extended his condolences to the government and people of the Islamic Republic of Iran and expressed profound grief over the disturbing tragedy and described President Raisi as a leader who was passionately committed to the development of Iran. While commiserating with the bereaved families, President Tinubu prayed for the continuous peace, stability and prosperity of the Iranian nation. And now, on sports. Golden Eaglets captain Saman Klatzes was named man of the match for the second consecutive game following the team's 1-0 victory over Niger Republic. Klatzes was also named man of the match in Nigeria's 0-0 draw with Burkina Faso. The youngster put up another impressive performance against Niger, who gave the role in the encounter. Rafa Adams scored the winning goal for the Golden Eaglets with a header on the half-hour mark, while Manu Garba's boys finished the game with 10 men after Chibike Okorie was sent off in the second half. The Golden Eaglets will take on already eliminated Togo in their last group game on Wednesday. And on entertainment, Nana Otedola, the mother of popular disc jockey DJ Cuppy, has offered prayers for her to find her soulmate. The elated music star shared the screenshot of her mom praying for her via Instagram story recently. This is coming after DJ Cuppy's most recent relationship was her failed engagement to Ryan Taylor after they parted ways in July 2023, barely 7 months after their shocking engagement in November 2022. Cuppy has been vocal about her desire to find her true love, saying being single and childless in her 30s is lonely and boring. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Ex-President Jonathan wants Fubara Wike reconciliation. Court denies Nnamdi Kanu bail in DSS custody. Ajero denies NLC merger talks ahead of 2027 elections. CBN withdraws circular on cybersecurity levy. South Africa's top court stops Jacob Zuma from ballot. Golden Eaglets captain wins second award. And DJ Cuppy's mum prays for true love. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms. Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Gloria Caribe Tumbry. Have a good night.